video is going to show you some of the tools within Brisk AI that can help you to increase engagement with your students and your content. I have open on my screen a Google Doc, pretty basic. I think I've used this 100 times in years past, where it really just outlines the different roles and responsibilities of job descriptions within our yearbook staff. So ultimately the students apply for one of these roles based on their interests and where their skill set lies. To be quite honest, I don't think students typically engage all that much with this Google Doc, and I'm not even sure if many of them really look at it before they decide what role they want to take on. So when I was about to launch this assignment this year, I was looking through the Brisk AI tools and stumbled across the engage or boost engagement options. So with a couple clicks of my mouse, I was able to pretty quickly, I think, make this into something the students interacted with. So if get me out of here. When I click on the Brisk icon in the bottom right-hand side of my screen, when I'm in my Google Doc, I'm going to get all of Brisk Educator free options. In this instance, I'm going to select Boost Student Activity. And you'll notice here there's a bunch of different ways you can engage with your students. There's 2 ways you can assess, and the writing and reflection options hopefully are coming soon. So with my Google Doc open, I simply clicked Character Chat. And I honestly didn't really change any of the settings here. Great, I just hit Brisk it. What Brisk is doing in the background is it is scanning my Google Doc. It is trying to find different learning objectives. It is creating a custom role for Brisk, the bot, to interact with my students. And relatively quickly, it's going to send me a link, either a QR code, a direct link I can share with my students. Now, I would really encourage you, before you assign this, to preview and edit this work. So I'm going to select the Preview and Edit button. And what it's going to do is it's going to open up for me this screen where I can actually go back. So this is going to give me the final version of what the students want, but I'm just going to hit this back arrow twice and show you where you can kind of customize this. Maybe I want to change my grade level to 9th grade. I'm going to keep it on Character Chat for now, but I can easily switch it to any of these other options, and then I can go to Create Activity. Now, I did not create these learning objectives. Brisk actually read my Google Doc or scanned it and created these. So it's going to challenge my students to identify 5 key roles. It's going to challenge my students to explain the importance of collaboration. It's going to ask them to describe 3 specific ways. It's going to ask them to list 2 primary duties. So it is going to hopefully base it off of these different objectives. If I wanted to, I could go in and edit one of these, of the editor in chief. Great. I could add a learning objective, whatever you want to do here. Maybe I don't want them to do this at all. I can just delete this one. Really, whatever you want to do. Great. It also is going to automatically generate a role, but again, if I want to customize this further, I can go ahead and do so. I like that it engages your students. I can give it a focus. I can tell the bot to ask it questions, to check for understanding, to guide the discussion. I always like that they typically add and keep your language friendly and appropriate for 9th grade students. But again, I can go in and customize this to my heart's content as much as I wanted. Once you're done with that, I'm going to preview it. And this is actually what your students will see. So when you share this link or QR code with your students, they will get access to your Google Doc on that left-hand side. They will be able to see the specific learning objectives that you, in partnership with Brisk, have created. And then at the bottom, there's going to be a green button that says Let's Go. So once your students have reviewed your Google Doc, they know what their objectives are, they're going to actually start a character chat. So they're going to talk to this fictitious editor-in-chief about the different roles of a yearbook staff. So I'm going to hit Let's Go. Every student is going to get a different conversation, but again, they will be guided by the objectives that you have set. So this one's saying, what do you know about the different roles on a yearbook staff? I really don't know anything yet. Please help me. So it doesn't really matter, but the students are going to go and start this conversation. So it's saying, can you guess what the main job of an editor-in-chief might be? And the students will continue that dialogue. Quite honestly, I did this with 3 learning objectives. It probably took my students somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes to complete this activity. And the coolest part, I thought, was I now can go back and see how they were engaging with my content. So I chose 3 learning objectives when I did this in my class. Could the students identify 3 different roles? Could they describe the main responsibilities of 2 of those roles? And could they reflect on their personal interests and skills to determine which yearbook role might suit them best? Ultimately, in my class, they have to apply for one of the jobs, so I thought that reflection piece was important. I can scan my entire class. I can see in green who hit those objectives, the yellow who kind of hit them, and gray they either did not complete or missed that point altogether. Now, if I wanted to dive in even deeper, I could hit view, and I would actually see the entire chat that my student had with their individual Brisk bot. Overall, this was a pretty great way. Quite honestly, the students have never really asked me about the different roles. They've just sort of gone with the flow, but there were some really great questions and comments that came from this activity, and I really saw the engagement get super high, where in years past it just kind of was a resource they opened and then clicked right out of. If you are looking to increase the engagement in your classroom with any of these Brisk tools, please feel free to stop by. We love to play around with them. We're happy to discuss or walk you through the first time you use the Boost student activities in your classroom. Good luck and happy creating.